we got here? Judgment time. No, Eagle. It is your judgment time. But you don't have a record. So you're not really worth fighting, are you? Show the map to the new people? Alright.
Drive charging.
I can do that. I don't know how many new people are in here though.
4,
If you're new to the channel,
2,
raise your salute.
1.
Please. So here we have the galaxy map. By the way, the galaxy map is pretty freaking awesome to look at in the Oculus Rift. Although it's not very navigable. It's hard to click stuff in it because as soon as you click it like clicks off screen, so yeah, doesn't really work well in the Oculus Rift, but it looks freaking awesome. So just to give you like a rough kind of, as I'm showing you the map, I'm going to kind of explain how it works. So you obviously have your information panel, and when you click on this the different systems, now each system is represented by a single star. Some of them have more than one star, but they're only represented by a single star in here. So when you click on them, yeah, they get the general information, the info panel over here on the left hand side. Now when you go to the navigation panel up here, yeah, Nervy, you steer the ship with the mouse, not the weapons. The weapons auto gimbal, so they'll lock onto the target within a certain area, and they will automatically shoot at that target. So it's, in my opinion, I think that's a much better way of flying. Okay, so in the navigation panel, you can do a search for a system, like let's say Sol, which is the system that we inhabit, where Earth is. And you can see I've instantly gone to Sol. You can see it's just outside this white bubble. This white bubble right now represents the amount of space that we can currently travel in. It's about 50 systems. Okay? And as they do the different betas, they kind of expand it more and more and more. Yeah, it shows the star's location in reference to the grid. Now, not only that though, this grid is, you may see just a 2D pane on it, but it's more than just that, because if I hold my right mouse button and drag up and down, I can actually shift the distance that I'm in this 2D pane, and I can see other systems down even lower. And so you can tell that how many systems there are, just like keep going down, there's more and more systems. I mean, it's starting to spread a little bit more because we're getting to the bottom of the galaxy. But then I can start going back up, kind of relative to where I'm actually at with these 50 systems. Yes, Peru. Our Earth would be next to the sun. Correct. No problem, Never. Yeah, it's yaw and pitch for the mouse, but you can actually change it so that you can do a yaw roll, whereas like you give it yaw and it'll roll, or vice versa, where you start to roll and it will automatically yaw slightly for you, which is nice. So you can just start doing it and it will automatically roll or automatically yaw. So you do one axis for 2 motions, and you can adjust how much it does. Okay, so anyway, you can say like what your current system is, you can say what your destination system is. So I want to travel to Iran, right? And it automatically puts that in there. And then in my map, I would just have to, you know, hit the navigate button. Now, some of these places are a little bit different. Quaisol, no, I haven't put these on YouTube, but I can actually highlight this one and put it on there for your buds. So anyway, on here, you see how there's these gray dotted lines and these blue solid lines and blue dotted lines? Well, it's down here in this little key, and it tells you with cargo mass and then with slider cargo mass. So it's basically telling me with the current cargo mass I have right now, it's giving me these indications of what I can jump, right? And so the dotted line is kind of pushing it, and it's going to use a lot of my fuel, whereas a solid line is going to use like an alright quantity, and I'll probably be able to do another jump. These gray lines are telling me what my potential is with a certain amount of cargo, and you can actually slide this up here and say how much cargo you're going to have. So my max cargo is 8 tons, right? And it's going to tell me where I can and cannot jump potentially. So with 8 tons of cargo, I can no longer jump to Dahan. But if I go all the way back down to 0, I can then jump to Dahan again. It's telling me, oh yes, I can jump there, but I'm not going to have any fuel when I get there. So I can also go to the view panel, and the view panel is actually really neat. This was just added in the last beta. Before in the premium beta, this wasn't a feature, but now it is. So you can see here, it's just your standard realistic here. But if you click map, everything gets highlighted into little dots, and these dots are based on what sort of faction they are. So you can see, like, okay, independent factions are going to be the red dots. You got Federation are the yellow dots. No faction are the white dots. That's kind of anarchy space, right? Is no faction, Empire, and so on. So I can actually take off some of these and say, oh, I only want to trade to these systems, right? Okay, but you can also go down to the commodities, right? And I could say, okay, well, let's say I'm only interested in selling a particular commodity, right? I want to sell a metal. And I want to sell, for instance, gold. I can tick that on, and now I can see which systems that are near me are selling and trading gold. So it looks like LP98 is selling gold to Rakapilla and Allen, okay, and Ovid, and also to a system down here. Looks like it's selling to, scroll a bit further, it's selling to Pai Fang. And so I can take that information and then buy and sell from those particular places to make cargo runs, basically. And that will be effective in the entire system once everything's implemented. So the further it goes out, that'll all be in there too. Options are just kind of like what you'd like to see in the map. So that's you know, kind of self-explanatory. But let me give you kind of a more example of just how massive the whole galaxy is going to be in the game once it's out. So I already told you before, we have the white circle, which is kind of what we have in the game right now. It's roughly about 50 systems. And so I'll scroll out a little bit more, and you can see it's kind of getting these stars clustered together, or these systems clustered together. You're seeing just how many there really are. M. Gunnery Sergeant, thank you so much for the follow. Much appreciated. You're awesome.
New people every day.
New people every day. So I'm gonna scroll out some more. You can see here it's starting to cut off the amount of systems, right? Because it really only renders them out in the bubble for the procedural generated engine. We can actually scroll up, and you can see it's gonna kind of bubble out the systems as I kind of go around. Okay. But you can just tell that, look, there's more than just that bubble. There's all of this around here too. And you can go up pretty high in the system. Now, once you get up this high, they start to get a little more spread out. But I can still click on any of these systems and get a little bit of information, if it had information. So technically, this means it's out of our known system. This is procedurally generated, and no one has ever been here. So this would be a good place to explore. So let's scroll a little bit more until you can actually start seeing the clouds of nebulas form in our galaxy. We start scrolling out a little bit more. Start seeing some of the rings of our galaxy created, and all the way out, and now you can see just the mass galaxy. So that gives you a little idea of just how small we really are in here. And I can actually take this and click both mouse buttons and scroll to anywhere in the system, in the galaxy, and start zooming in. And I could go into one of these clouds, and they're not actually clouds, these are just clusters of systems all together. Kimosabe, thank you so much for the follow. You're awesome.
Yay, fireworks.
Yay, fireworks. Shh. All right, so I can zoom in here too and select any of these random systems. Right? So I can go, you can go anywhere in the galaxy. Once the game is out, 400 billion star systems. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's only going to be 400 billion planets or 400 billion stars. No, it means 400 billion systems. And systems could have anywhere from 1 to like 5 or even maybe more stars. We don't know. It's going to be randomly generated out there. Could be any number of stuff. And planets-wise, I mean, we have several planets in our system. It makes sense that there's going to be more in others. There's already more in some of these other systems too. So it could potentially mean a multitude higher than 400 billion just when it comes to planets and everything like that. Yes, mind you, procedurally generated, but still incredibly massive. Now, the thing that isn't going to be procedurally generated is, well, to an extent, it's not going to be procedurally generated. I mean, yes, it will be procedurally generated by the engine, but they've set it up so that we have a bubble of known space, which will be accurate to constellations, meaning places where we know where stuff are. And let me give you a good example of that. So let me turn this off and see if I can get it going. I'm going to go to... I'll navigate to Sol, just so you can see what I mean. So everything should be accurate to our night sky in-game. So I'll go ahead and I'll turn constellations on, and you can see all the constellations around our planet. And each one of them will have a system that we know about right now in real life, and you'll be able to go there in this game. Yep. All over the place. And they're in 3D too, so they don't quite look the same from this destination, but you get the point. And that's pretty much a rundown of the map, guys. Got your date and time up there too. But there you go. That is it. And we're gonna jump to Iran and back so we can get that nav beacon again. Frame shift.
Drive charging.
Tango, for the 50 systems that are in the game right now, there are some that do look aesthetically different, but the majority of them kind of look the same. And the systems that are in game right now are systems that we know about in our galaxy that we can see in the night sky. So as we give more in the game, you are going to see some differences. I mean, there are some the yellow stars, like we have our own sun. There's some more like whitish stars. There's some white dwarfs. There's some red giants in the game already. So that there is some variety, but you have to travel out further from the central systems to see it. Do we have a nav beacon here? Yes, we do. Random nav beacon. Let's go check this one out. See if we can find the bounties there. But at some point, after the game is released, they will have planned exploration. That'll be, I think it's the first planned downloadable content or expansion pack. So we'll be able to go and fly around planets and explore them and get missions planet side, like hunting beasts and stuff like that, and picking them up and taking them somewhere else. So that should be super cool.